Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police with Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog breaking the trail in the relentless pursuit of lawbreakers in the wild days of the Yukon. Back to the days of the gold rush as Sergeant Preston with his wonder dog Yukon King meets the challenge of the Yukon. This is the Yukon, the territory patrolled by Sergeant Preston, where a new and decent way of life was being carved out under the constant protection and vigilance of the men of the Northwest Mounted Police. The Rink Rapids area, where in the winter of 1898, Sergeant Preston was detailed on special assignment from headquarters to investigate a sudden outbreak of robbery and violence. Sergeant Preston and his great dog King traveled the trail toward Fred Russell's trading post at Rink Rapids as the crime wave continued unabated.
Down, down. Le man noir.
That's right, the man in black.
But this is the R3.
There are. I make 2. He makes 3.
Well, why you come here? I have nothing you want.
We always want money.
But
You just came from the trading post where you sold your catch of furs. Now, come on, hand it over and there won't be any trouble.
oh, please, for months and months I have work.
All right, I'll take that.
Why can't I have my share right here and now?
Because it has to be done the way the boss wants it.
Boss, why must everything go the way he says?
If you've got any complaints, I'll pass them on.
I don't like it, Steve. I don't like the idea of him knowing me and me not knowing who he is. It gives me the creeps standing off there in the distance watching us. Why can't I meet him and talk to him?
It has to be done the way the boss wants it. Look, he figured it all out. Who has the money? These black outfits? When we can lay our hands on the money. It's a perfect setup. And he figured it out. So stop complaining. Go on, I'll see you later. Don't have to count it. I guess you know just how much is in it, eh? George is gone. You can take off that mask now.
Steve, what were you talking about so long down there?
Well, George is anxious to see you. He wants to know what you look like.
Yeah, so would a lot of other people. But none of them will ever find out, my dear husband.
After Crooked Steve Corey secretly married Anna Nelson, he found her a willing student in crime, a pupil who soon surpassed her teacher in vicious brutality and criminal leadership. When the law in the States had nearly caught up with them, the criminal couple had fled to the Northwest Territory. Anna, pretending ill health, found a welcome at the store of her honest and innocent cousin, Fred Russell. Her vicious husband, masquerading as a stranger, moved into a nearby cabin, and with an accomplice, the pair soon found a new outlet for their criminal activities.
The hurt on my head, Sergeant, is bad enough, but oh, les cochons, my money, they took it all.
Well, I'm sorry, Pierre. We can't undo what has already been done. I'll do my best to find the criminals and recover your money. Now, there were 3 men, you say?
Yes, the 3 men in black everyone has been talking about.
Fred, were all these victims trappers?
Oh,
Did you ever actually see the 3 men in black yourself?
I've been lucky. They haven't bothered me yet.
Pierre, did you recognize their voices?
No, I did not, and the 3rd man, he did not speak. He was far away up on the hill.
It was the same as the other times, Sergeant. The 3rd man supervised from a distance.
Pierre, is there any kind of a description that you can give me?
I didn't see their faces, no one has.
What about their size?
Well, one was as tall as you, and the other short as me.
And the 3rd man?
The 3rd man, ordinary, average, something peculiar about him.
And all right, Pierre. If I need any more information, I'll stop by your cabin.
Ah, misère de misère de misère. I must set my traps and start all over again.
All right, Pierre.
Merci, au revoir.
Goodbye.
It's a shame, stealing from hard-working men like Pierre.
Fred, was Harry Grant the victim just before Pierre?
That's right.
King and I'll get started right away. I want to get to Harry's cabin before nightfall.
I'm sure Harry will tell you the same story as Pierre. It's been the same story each time, Sergeant.
Yes, I know, but maybe Harry will have something to add. We'll be back tomorrow, shortly after noon.
Sergeant,
Yes?
just a moment. My cousin, Miss Anna Nelson, Sergeant Preston.
Sergeant Preston.
How do you do, Miss Nelson?
The doctor advised her to come north for her health. She arrived 3 months ago.
Yes, and it's done me a world of good. I'm much stronger now, and everyone here has been so kind.
Anna's been a great help, not only to me, but to the mothers in the Indian village, always assisting them, knitting warm things for the children. I tell you, Sergeant, she's an angel of mercy. Anna, you've been working on those since yesterday.
I'll be through soon.
You mustn't overtire yourself.
One never tires doing good deeds, Fred.
Oh! It's Carl Walton with a load of furs. Hello, Carl.
Hello, Miss Nelson.
Good morning, Mr. Walton.
Big catch.
Best season I ever had.
Looks to me like you're going to be several $100 richer.
Sure can use it.
Step over there to that stove and warm up while I go through them.
I'm going over to the Indian village for a while, Fred.
But, Anna...
The child needs these, and there's so much to do there. Now, don't worry about me. It's only a few minutes' walk, and I feel fine.
Always thinking of someone else.
Oh, boy. You said you had news for me, dear Anna.
Yes, dear husband, I have good news. My devoted cousin is going to pay over $300 to Carl Waltham for his fur catch. The trapper's starting for his cabin around 2 o'clock.
Then we'll be waiting for him at his cabin.
No. This time we'll do the job on the trail at Boulder Bend. I'll ride in your sled and we'll get George. Did you bring my equipment along as usual?
Mm-hmm. What about the Mountie, Preston?
Oh, he's returning by the North Trail. Don't worry about him.
Well, I have reason to worry. He and that dog of his can cause us a lot of trouble.
With me on the inside, we still have the advantage of Preston. And if that no longer continues to work for us, this will.
Don't bother. We're not leaving yet.
Not until we're finished. It'll just take a minute.
You know what we want. Let's not waste time. Come on, now no fuss. That's being sensible. Oh! Well, get the money.
He's dead.
So?
There wasn't supposed to be any killing. You promised me at the beginning.
Well, I promised, but I'm not the final word. He is.
I want to get out of here.
Oh, go on. I'll see you later at your cabin. The first time's always the hardest, Georgie.
Sergeant.
Hello, Fred. Hello, Jim.
Did you get any special information from Harry Grant?
Just that the thieves knew exactly how much cash he had.
I told you. The pattern was the same in each case. 3 men in black, and the trappers were robbed after cashing in on their furs.
Here.
What?
Each one of these victims were robbed after leaving your trading post, Fred.
What do you mean by that?
Well, someone knew that these men were heading home with the money.
You mean inside information?
Well, it's obvious that these robberies are all based on accurate information. Now, look, don't misunderstand. I've known you too long and too well to accuse you of it. But think back, Fred. Have you noticed anyone hanging around the store lately?
No. But I wished I'd known about this theory of yours before. I would have had Carl Waltham wait until you returned.
What about Carl?
He left here several hours ago with over $300 in his pocket.
Headed for his cabin?
Uh-huh.
Good afternoon, Sergeant.
Good afternoon.
I trust your trip was fruitful.
I'll know shortly, Miss Nelson.
Sergeant, I'd like to go along. In a way, I feel responsible now.
Well, that's fine. But we'll have to hurry. While you're getting dressed, I'll line the team. Come on, Team.
Anna, would you handle things while I'm gone?
Of course, Fred. Is there trouble, Fred?
Now, Anna, I don't want you getting upset. You just stay here and take it easy.
Sergeant Preston urged King to set a rapid pace for the team as they moved along the trail south of the trading post. He hoped to arrive in time to prevent another robbery and to apprehend the 3 mysterious men in black. However, time had already run out for Carl Waltham.
What is it, King?
A black glove. 3 men in black.
Seems that King has more reason than the black glove for stopping.
He's dead.
Yes. Money's gone, too. 3 men in black work fast.
If I'd only made him wait for your return.
Well, don't blame yourself, Fred. This is the first bit of direct evidence we've had.
How can that help find the criminals?
Maybe all King will need. His scent will lead him and us to the man who wore the glove.
I don't know where I lost the glove, and I don't care. The thing that happened this afternoon, it keeps haunting me.
Come on, where do you think you're going?
I don't know.
You wouldn't be planning to confess because your conscience hurts, would you?
Anything would be better than this.
George, look, we've got other things to talk about there.
All right, King. This is the man we're after. Find him.
Go ahead, boy.
Will you tell Fred I want to talk to him?
Well, he'll be out for at least an hour. Is there something I can do?
No. Thank you.
Well, you look ill, Mr. Watkins. Are you in trouble? At least let me try and help you. Why did you want to talk to my cousin Fred?
I understand the Mountie was here.
Mountie?
Sergeant Preston. I have something to tell him. Something I must say.
Go on.
It's about the robberies. About the murder of Carl Waltham. About the 3 men in black.
Mr. Watkins, do you have information that will help the police?
Yes. And if I can't find a safe place to hide, I won't be allowed to tell Preston. What am I going to do?
Just stay here and stop worrying.
I don't want you to get involved.
Now, you can just stay in the quarters in the back until Sergeant Preston returns. And if anyone comes looking for you, I'll tell them you haven't been here. And now, don't you worry about me.
Miss Nelson, I don't know how to thank you.
Believe me, Mr. Watkins, I'm glad to do it.
Down, boy, down.
Is that where he is, King? I'll unhitch you, boy.
That's George Watkins' cabin, Sergeant.
I'll circle around to the back. Come on. Watkins?
Yes, Sergeant. George Watkins.
Carl Waltham was shot. This man's been stabbed. What do you know about him?
Well, he and a friend named Steve Corey showed up here about 3 months back in Rink Rapids. Said they came from the States to trap. Neither one of them ever comes over to the trading post with furs.
What about Corey?
Well, all I know is he has a cabin on Tilden Ridge, about a mile from my trading post.
And these robberies started shortly after they arrived in town. Is that right?
That's right. I never thought of that before. The black hood.
Yes, and the matching glove. Fred, don't mention Watkins' death to anyone, will you?
Of course, but,
Especially to your cousin Anna.
very well, Sergeant.
You know, if Steve Corey is one of the criminals, questioning him directly isn't going to necessarily lead me to the third man in black. I'm going to have to work out a plan to force Corey to lead me to his partner in crime, if he is one of them. Look, Fred, if anyone should ask where I am, why, just say that I've gone to Little Creek on police business, right?
I'll do anything you say, Sergeant.
Let's take care of him.
Preston could not yet bring himself to tell his friend Fred Russell of his suspicion that the trail would lead in some way to Anna Nelson.
It's all attended to, Steve.
Yes, I put him in his cabin.
It's most fortunate that he came here, and doubly fortunate that you followed him.
Well, I had an idea he'd come here to the trading post to try to locate Preston.
Why, Fred, you've been gone so long I was beginning to worry about you. Where's Sergeant Preston?
He had to go on to Little Creek on some new police business. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Fred. I just dropped in to pass the time of day.
Yes, Mr. Corey and I had a very pleasant chat. I'm so glad we're such close neighbors.
It's very pleasant, Miss Nelson. Well, I'll be running along now.
Anything happened while I was away, Anna?
Nothing, Fred. It's been very quiet.
Knowing that a guilty conscience falls easy prey to fear, Preston planned to shock the suspected criminal by making him believe he was seeing his dead partner, thereby making him seek out the third man in black.
All right, King, you know what to do. Go.
Anna? It's too big for Anna. Besides, I just left her.
Through the night, Preston had maintained his watch on Steve Corey, had seen him go to the murdered George Watkins' cabin, had seen him leave in panic, had watched from a distance as the thoroughly frightened criminal sent a messenger from the Indian village. Although Preston had begun to suspect that Anna knew who the criminals were and was protecting them, he had not expected her to be guilty of actually taking part in the crimes. Thus it came about that when Preston needed help in springing his trap, he had to turn to Fred Russell to handle the team, while a dummy dressed in a black outfit rode the runners of the sled.
Hannah. No, not Hannah. George is alive. He's still alive. I saw him.
You sent for me just to tell me a story like that.
I tell you, I saw him. He drove by my cabin twice. Last night I went to his cabin and he wasn't there.
I killed him myself, and dead men don't drive sleds.
Well, he did.
Oh, stop that ridiculous nonsense. Stop it.
There, see for yourself.
Someone's been trying to play tricks on us. Now the trick is over. I hit him, I know. I never miss, and yet...
Man only dies once. I'm leaving.
Stop, or I'll spend a bullet on you.
Drop that gun, Miss Nelson. Drop it. You've already done enough killing. You're both under arrest in the name of the Crown. Fred, bring King and the team.
Sergeant Preston, I can explain.
No explanation would clear you, Miss Nelson. I already know enough to have you convicted of your crimes. Now turn around and get your hands over your head.
A dummy! And Fred!
I'm sorry, Fred.
Anna. My little cousin Anna. You, Steve Corey, you led her into this.
She was the boss. I'm guilty of nothing but robbery. Everything else was her doing.
In the eyes of the law, you're guilty of the same crime she is, murder. King, this case is closed. Turn around and get your hands behind you.